Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA. My name is Seamus Brady, and in this video I'm going to be giving my personal All-Star GAA team for 2022. So the GAA season is over. Kerry are the All-Ireland champions for the first time since 2014. And in this video, I'm going to be giving my personal All-Star team. So this is going to be controversial. This is going to be opinionated, but this is my personal selection of who I think the 15 standout and best players were of the championship season in 2022. I'm going to try and keep it to positions relatively fairly. I'm going to say who I thought was the best fullback, who I thought was the best midfielder. I don't personally like what the Sunday game do of shoehorning different footballers into different positions, like when they put Colin Kavanagh at fullback in the All-Star team when he was a midfielder, and when the Sunday game team having Reno O'Neill at midfield, etc. Like, I'm going to go through what I think are the 15 best players for each position in this team and pick my personal and the Play on GAA All-Star Awards 2022. So let's start with the goalkeeper. So, of course, goalkeeping this season, I'd say, compared to the goalkeepers that we had, I think 10 years ago, I think that the standard has actually declined a little bit over the last few seasons. I mean, 10 years ago, we had the likes of Stephen Cluxton, we had the likes of David Clark. This time, the standard is kind of on the decline a little bit, but I do think that the goalkeeper as a position is going under immense change. I mean, we've seen Ethan Rafferty, and he is the first nominee. Ethan Rafferty of Armagh. We've seen what he did this season. I mean, running out, scoring 2 points from play against Tyrone, and he was a constant outlet and a constant attacking threat for Armagh. We'd never seen this before. I mean, Cluxton kicking frees in 2011 was crazy. And, you know, coming outfield for a few seconds. And then Anthony Masterson, I remember, was kind of dabbling in it with Wexford at the start of the 2010s. And then Graham Brody made a big step in 2017, 2018 under John Sergiu, where he really came out a lot. And then the likes of Rory Begg and the likes of Niall Morgan, they took it to new levels. And now Rafferty, who was a midfielder and a forward for Armagh, is now the goalkeeper. And I think he was excellent. I think his kickouts are very good this season. I think he's only going to get better and better as well. And I think Armagh getting into that system, I think this is the way forward. And I think if you move the game forward 5 years, I think a lot of teams, club and county, will have an outfield player playing in goal, offering a threat off the shoulder for these runs. It has to be done correctly, and Armagh definitely did it correctly. The other option, the other nominee that I've put forward for this is Shane Ryan from Kerry. Now, Shane Ryan from Kerry, at the start of the season, there was the battle between himself and Shane Murphy for, you know, who Jack O'Connor was going to back as his goalkeeper. And myself and Luke actually backed Shane Murphy from Dr. Crokes. We think he's a very good goalkeeper as well. Shane Ryan was fantastic this season. Really, really good under the high ball. Very calm pair of hands. Very relaxed. So it's Shane Ryan or Ethan Rafferty. I think Ryan is the more kind of traditional goalkeeper, but I think for what he's done for the position, for what he's brought to the game, and for how he has almost revolutionized the position, I'm going to go with Ethan Rafferty of Armagh in goal. I just think the way he's changed it, the way he's made other teams adapt to plan for a goalkeeper attacking is just crazy. And I think the game will be unrecognizable in a few years from what it was 15 years ago in terms of goalkeepers coming up and shooting. I think this is going to be the precedent, and every team is going to do this. So yeah, Ethan Rafferty is my goalkeeper. Full back line, I'm just going to throw one in straight away. Jason Foley from Kerry. Absolutely fantastic this year, Jason Foley. His performance and him being as good as he has been this season, you could argue was the missing piece for Kerry. Last season, their attack was still as good as it ever was. Clifford was still brilliant, and they just were getting picked apart time and time again in the back. Tyrone walked through them for 3 goals in that semi-final. This year, with O'Connor coming in, I do understand, look, Paddy Tally's come in. He's brought this defensive system in, but the performance of Jason Foley has been absolutely fantastic. When you think of what Damien Comer's form was like coming into that final, when you think about what he did to Brendan Rodgers in that semi-final, who got scoring 2-2 from play on him in a game like that, after what Rodgers had done to Michael Murphy in the Ulster final. It's absolutely crazy how good Foley was in that final to completely take Damien Comer out of the game, not let him get a score from play, barely let him have a shot at the post. So, yeah, Foley for me, no-brainer, straight in there. The cornerbacks then, Chrissy McCaig from Derry, I'm putting in there, right cornerback. Absolutely fantastic, Chrissy McCaig is. In my opinion, he's the best man marker in the country. Everyone that Chrissy McCaig goes on, you can guarantee he's just going to take them out of the game. He did it to McBrearty. He's done it to, I believe, no, he completely took Rob Finnerty out of the game. In a game where Galway were dominating, Rob Finnerty still didn't get a kick, and that was because Chrissy McCaig was marking him. And I think if Derry had been a bit smarter, they maybe would have put Chrissy McCaig onto a Damien Comer, onto a Shane Walsh. So I'm going Chrissy McCaig in there, right cornerback. The left cornerback then, before I wrap up this line, honorary mentions, Sean Kelly from Galway, I thought was excellent throughout the championship. Brendan Rodgers from Derry, I thought was outstanding in the Ulster Championship and really, really good against Clare. Scored 2 points in the All-Ireland semi-final against Galway, but just the roasting he took off Damien Comer, I can't put him in ahead of Jason Foley at fullback. I can't put him in over Chrissy McCaig, and I can't put him in over the left cornerback, which is Tom O'Sullivan from Kerry. I just think this guy was so good this season. He could be up for Footballer of the Year. I mean, scoring 7 points from cornerback like he did, he was a genuine attacking threat for Kerry throughout the entire season. He was absolutely fantastic. He's an absolute weapon there going forward for Kerry. And not only that, he's one hell of a man marker. He did a great job on Cormac Costello in the semi-final. He did as best he could on Shane Walsh in the final, but I think he is one of the best in the game right now, and Tom O'Sullivan is my pick there for left cornerback. Shout out as well to Liam Silk of Galway. I think he's worth a mention. So that is the full back line, Chrissy McCaig, Jason Foley, and Tom O'Sullivan. The half back line then, I'm going to throw one in straight away. I'm going to go right into the middle, and this is the toughest by far. I think Garrett McKinless from Derry has been absolutely fantastic throughout this season, particularly in the Ulster Championship. His role in that Derry team cannot be underestimated. He was fantastic. John Daly or Tyg Morley, though, is going to get it. And I think both of them have been absolutely crucial to the defence, their system, everything. John Daly has been absolutely vital for Galway. His kick passes into the forwards. I mean, he nearly put Johnny Heaney through for a goal in that final. That was a perfect pass. Tyg Morley at centre back as well, to come back from being dropped by Peter Keane, to come back into the side and to walk back in and be such a crucial part of that Kerry team. Massive credit to Morley. I think I'm going to go with Tyg Morley. I'm going to go with Tyg Morley at centre half back. I just think John Daly was so damn good, but Morley was on the winning side. And as well, Kerry had a better defence throughout the championship. Galway did concede a lot against Armagh. They did concede against Mayo. They had a higher average conceding rate. And I'm going to go with Tyg Morley just about. If Galway had won, I probably would have given it to John Daly. I think he absolutely deserves a shout out there at centre back. But I'm going with Tyg Morley. Then at left half back, I'm putting in Gavin White from Dr. Crokes. I think this guy is an absolute weapon for Kerry from wing back. I mean, he's a genuine attacking threat, very similar to Tom O'Sullivan down that left flank. Teams have to plan for Gavin White, and throughout the championship, he was excellent. And I think he's more than deserving of this All-Star award. Right half back, I've gone for an interesting one. So before I actually announce who I've chosen, Conor Doherty from Derry, I think deserves a mention. Fantastic in the Ulster Championship. 2 great points against Tyrone, especially. I think James McCarthy from Dublin put in one of the best individual match performances I've seen against Kerry. He was amazing in that game. And Kieran Malloy from Galway was another one that I thought was absolutely fantastic in every game that he played. Great man marker, great going forward, won all those club titles with Corofin over the years. He's fully translated that now into the Galway setup, and he's only going to get better and better. But I've actually gone for a bit of an option that nobody really would have saw coming. Jarlath Og Burns from Armagh is my right half back in this team. I think Charlie Og has been absolutely immense for Armagh this season. He got put in there at wing back at the start of the season by McGeaney, tore it up against Dublin on that opening league night in Croke Park. And ever since then, he's been electric going down that wing. He's a genuine ball carrier. He just moves the ball so well for Armagh. Teams have to plan for him. Again, a similar way that they have to plan for the likes of Gavin White, that they had to plan for the likes of Paddy Durkin, Jack McCaffrey. Charlie Oak carries that ball down the wing and gets Armagh out of a lot of situations. His performance against Tyrone was immense. He was an absolute titanic figure in that game, in Armagh's amazing victory. So I'm going for Charlie Oak. So that is the defence. Ethan Rafferty in goal, Chrissy McCaig, Jason Foley and Tom O'Sullivan, Charlie Oak, Burns, Tyg Morley and Gavin White. Moving into the midfield, 4 options here. They are Paul Conroy from Galway, Conor Glass from Derry, Diarmuid O'Connor from Kerry, and Killian McDade from Galway. And the first one I'm going to slot in straight away is Killian McDade from Galway. Absolutely amazing footballer this guy is, particularly in the Armagh game. Just the absolute never say die attitude. That point that he kicked to get it to go to penalties, just an amazing shot. The goal he scored at such a crucial time. His performance in the semi-final on Conor Glass, immense. And in the final again, hitting 4 points, I believe it was, from midfield. The guy is absolutely electric. And to come back from the AFL, to slot in there at midfield, he's been an absolute towering figure there for Galway. And he goes straight in there on my all-star team. And I'm going to partner him with Paul Conroy. I think Diarmuid O'Connor from Kerry absolutely deserves a shout. Conor Glass from Derry. Diarmuid O'Connor from Kerry, Conor Glass from Derry. Bit of a tongue twister, but both of them absolutely deserve shout-outs. Both of them were absolutely superb for their respective sides throughout the championship, helping them get to the stages that they got to. Diarmuid O'Connor, of course, having to contend with, potentially taking the burden off David Moore. And I think he handled it very, very well this season. I mean, what you would say was his first real season where the Kerry management put full faith in him. I think he was excellent. But Conroy was such an outlet for Galway, such a scoring threat from midfield. And that midfield partnership of Conroy and McDade was the absolute key for Galway throughout the championship, which got them through a lot of tough games. And Conroy did clutch up with some big points and big moments. And I think him going off in the All-Ireland final was a massive reason why Kerry were able to get over the line. So that's my midfield pairing, all Galway, Paul Conroy and Killian McDade. The half-forward line then, I'm going to go for what I think a lot of people would have gone for in the half-forward line. I'm going to go with Paddy Clifford from Kerry, Sean O'Shea from Kerry, and Kieran Kilkenny from Dublin. So the first position, Paddy Clifford from Kerry. Massive shout-out goes to Rory Grugan. I think him throughout this season for Armagh, he was absolutely fantastic. A real orchestrator of the Armagh attack. That goal that he scored against Donegal after, 10 seconds, just incredible. And the skill that he possesses, the ability he possesses, he's a really, really good footballer to watch. And I can't wait to watch him again under Armagh next season. Hopefully, if they can get the likes of Oisin O'Neill back fully fit, Jamie Clark maybe even back into the team, Grugan playing with them, I think Armagh could be a great team to watch. And he is heart and soul of that. Another one that I've put in there for a shout out is Johnny Heaney there at left half forward. I do think Johnny Heaney does so much that wouldn't be appreciated in the Galway side, and he popped up at crucial times with crucial scores for Galway throughout the championship. He's a workhorse. He puts in the hard yards. He's such a team player, and because of that, he won't necessarily get the credit he deserves, but I think he was outstanding, and he's well worth his shout out there. But I have, of course, gone with Paddy Clifford, Sean O'Shea, and Kieran Kilkenny. Paddy Clifford, because he is the glue that holds that Kerry team together. Make no mistake, he links defence and attack. I mean, Lee Keegan's interview where he was just talking about with the Mayo lads, they were saying Paddy Clifford is the guy that you need to get to. Paddy Clifford is the guy that you need to stop because he just makes the whole Kerry attack tick. And not only that, he came up with some big moments. I mean, the Dublin game was absolute perfect example of that. I mean, that point that he kicked straight over the bar when Dublin were 1 point behind Kerry to put it back up to 2 point lead. I mean, that was so crucial for Kerry to break that Dublin momentum, and Paddy Clifford was the man to do it. He fisted over another point late in the game. Such a clutch player. And yeah, so for that, Paddy Clifford goes in. Then at centre forward, Shawnee O'Shea. I mean, for just his consistency, for his performance in the semi-final, because I do think he was quiet in the final considering what he's capable of. But that early goal against Dublin, that free kick against Dublin is the best clutch free kick I've ever seen. The way he went at it, the distance, the pressure, just incredible. So his performances throughout the championship, I think, were excellent for Kerry. So for me, Shawnee O'Shea, captain of Kerry, straight in there at centre forward. Left half forward, then Kieran Kilkenny from Castleknock in Dublin. I think he was Dublin's standout performer throughout the championship. I thought he really, really led the way, particularly against Kerry in that semi-final with Dublin's comeback. He was really, really heart and soul of that Dublin team, and him coming into the second half when he had been quiet in the first half. Him coming into the second half was a massive, massive reason why Dublin were able to stage that comeback. So yeah, he goes in there at left half forward, which brings us on to the full forward line. And we have one hell of a list here. 5 names. I'm going to pick 3 of them. So we have Rian O'Neill from Armagh, Shane Walsh from Galway, Shane McGuigan from Derry, Damien Comer from Galway, and David Clifford from Kerry. And the first one I'm going to throw in is David Clifford from Kerry, top of the left at left corner forward. Clifford, absolutely amazing. And he's genuinely the best player that I've ever seen at that age. I think he's 22, 23 now. I've never seen a 22, 23-year-old be as good as David Clifford is. All the players that I've seen that you maybe would say maybe were better than Clifford, they're all 28, 29, entering their prime. It scares me genuinely what this guy could be capable of when he's in his prime. He's absolutely unplayable. He's one of those guys that if you keep him to 5 points, it's actually a job well done. I mean, the best man markers in the country can't lay a finger on him. He's that good. So he slots in there left corner forward for me. And then another one slots in at right corner forward. That is Shane Walsh from Galway. I think his performance in that final against Kerry was one of the best performances in All-Ireland final I've seen, regardless of whether he was on the winning side or losing side. He did everything that he could possibly do in that game to drag Galway along. He was a leader, he was a captain, and not only that, he was a captain and leader when the other 2 lads in the full forward line did not have their best games at all. So he really took the fight to Kerry, and I think without him, I think Kerry would have won easy. I think he was absolutely phenomenal. So he goes in there right corner forward for me, which leaves 3 lads contesting for the full forward position. We got Damien Comer from Galway, Shane McGuigan from Derry, and Rian O'Neill from Armagh. And by God, this is a tough selection to choose from here. I mean, Comer, particularly what stood out is Comer's semi-final performance against Derry. The way he led the way he was such a captain, the way he absolutely just dragged Galway through the mud when through the terrain when Derry were playing, making the game be played on their terms. Comer was the one that put the hand up and put the shoulder to the wheel and absolutely drove Galway on and hit crucial scores at crucial times. Without those 2 Damien Comer goals, do Galway get to the final? Like it's really, really that simple. Rian O'Neill, that free at the end of the Galway game to send it to extra time, just incredible. His ability, the points he's able to kick. He's just such an amazing footballer. And he made it into the Sunday game team of the year at midfield. And then Shane McGuigan from Derry, who was Derry's absolute scorer in chief throughout the championship. He's the second top scorer in the championship behind Shane Walsh, who of course overtook him in that final. McGuigan was absolute heart and soul of this Derry team, and without him, they just simply would not have made it to where they made it to. Whereas you could argue that the other teams and the other players here were players in the side that were definitely crucial, but not as crucial to the side as Shane McGuigan is to Derry. So it's so hard to choose between these 3. Genuinely finding it really, really hard to pick one. You've got Comer, you've got Rian O'Neill, and you've got Shane McGuigan. I am going to go with... any choice here is going to be controversial. But I'm going to go with Damien Comer. Even though he had a poor All-Ireland final, I just think his performances in the Connacht Championship were fantastic, and particularly that semi-final performance against Derry was magnificent. Shane McGuigan absolutely deserves it. I'd probably go McGuigan next, and then Rian O'Neill, but yeah, Comer for me goes in there at full forward. So yeah, that's the Play on GAA Team of the Year. Manager of the Year now, I think Jack O'Connor. I think if you're talking about, he's obviously right up there as a candidate, Jack O'Connor, but also another one is Rory Gallagher. I mean, if you're talking, when Jack O'Connor came into the Kerry side, you would have immediately put them down as All-Ireland contenders. And this is the point that I'm getting onto here. What was expected of Jack O'Connor was an All-Ireland. Make no mistake, he was expected to pick up the league, Munster and All-Ireland. And he did that. He swept the whole damn thing. Rory Gallagher with Derry, though, if you're looking at it, no one thought Derry would have won the Ulster title. Like, if you had said at the start of the year that Derry would win the Ulster title and get to an All-Ireland semi-final, you wouldn't have believed that. So for me, for that reason, as good as Jack O'Connor is, and as much as he deserves credit, as much as he has, in my opinion, completely cemented himself as one of the greatest Gaelic football managers we've seen, it's Rory Gallagher for me this year because of what he's taken this Derry team to. I don't think they have the talent that Kerry have, but what Gallagher has been able to squeeze out of them is absolutely magnificent. So he goes in there. That is the Play On GAA team of the year. Manager, Rory Gallagher from Derry. Goalkeeper, Ethan Rafferty from Armagh. Fullback line, Chrissy McCaig from Derry, Jason Foley from Kerry, and Tom O'Sullivan from Kerry. Half-back line, Jarlath O'Byrne from Armagh, Tyg Morley from Kerry, and Gavin White from Kerry. Midfield, Paul Conroy and Killian McDade from Galway. Half forwards, Paddy Clifford from Kerry, Sean O'Shea from Kerry, and Kieran Kilkenny from Dublin. Full forward line, Shane Walsh from Galway, Damien Comer from Galway, and David Clifford from Kerry. And David Clifford is the captain of the team. Why? Because he is my personal footballer of the year. I think he was excellent, absolutely unplayable, and I can't wait to see more of him next season. That is the team here and the Footballer of the Year award. Make sure to tune in for the LGFA Team of the Year as well. And there's also the Hurling All-Stars and Camogie All-Stars coming once the final is played next weekend. That's the video here, guys, on Play On GA. Make sure you leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, please. It really helps us out. And until the next one, take care.